So Serge Ibaka hasn't played for the Milwaukee Bucks for a little while. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how many games it's been off the top of my head, but he hasn't played. He's only played like 16 games for them in total. But the Serge Ibaka and the Milwaukee Bucks want to I basically came to a mutual agreement per Shams that they would find him a new home. Now, if they can't trade him, then they very likely just buy him out. And then he's a minimum contract, so it doesn't cost much. But if you're the Lakers, do you just call them up and say, hey, we'll give you Damien Jones straight up for Serge Ibaka? Like you're gonna buy out Serge Ibaka anyway. Like so, and you're not, and like who's gonna trade for him? Like you're not gonna get any picks or anything for him. So Damien Jones is a young center. He just hasn't worked for us. He was great in Sacramento last year. We'll just swap you Damien Jones for Serge Ibaka. The Lakers have been in the market for a big. Obviously, DeMarcus Cousins and Myers Leonard hasn't really worked out. Serge, you only need a big to come in and play 10-plus minutes a game. You don't need a big to play a bunch of minutes. So he could play center. He could play power forward. He could play next to AD. He could play next to Thomas Bryant. He could play next to Winning Gabriel. I think it's a win-win. And then for those that are like, well, why trade for him when you could go and just if he gets bought out, just sign him on the buyout? Because you can move off of Damian Jones's 2-year contract. That's why. And Milwaukee might actually do that because, again, Damian Jones is like 24 years old, 6'10", 6'11" center, and they wanted a backup center, right? So they might be able to get him to work, and he's on a minimum contract for the next 2 years, so it doesn't cost them anything, right? So if you're Milwaukee, like you bring him in, you hope that you can get him to work. If not, then you just buy him out next year anyway, and you just like you were going to do with Serge Ibaka. So it doesn't really change anything. So if you could basically unload Damian Jones's multi-year contract in order to get Serge Ibaka, I think you do that. Because also that's another $3 million, $2.5 million that you'd have in salary space next season, worst case scenario. Or you could use Serge Ibaka and add him to another trade or something, or work out a trade later if you need to. It just gives you flexibility, which is why I would do the deal.
Because if you wait, because he's gonna be a free agent next year anyway. But like you said, it doesn't really, because you can't move on with Jones' contract. But my thing is, don't you give Jones just one more year though?
Damien Jones is on contract for 2 years. He has a player option next year, which means he's probably going to opt in. But if you're the Lakers, that's the last thing you want, because he's been unplayable for them. And
but that's what I'm saying. Like, do we give him another season to like develop, or at this point,
you move on, find somebody else, because that salary cap you'd clear might be able to get you a center you want. Right, and if you don't unload them now, then you're in trouble. So, I think that would be a mutually beneficial thing. Like, hey, it's a simple swap. You get Damian Jones, we get Serge Ibaka. You get a young center that you may or may not be able to do anything with. If you can, you can. If
more than likely not. He's just gonna ride the bench over there.
Maybe not.
He's gonna do the same thing that he was doing for us, unless they can take him and flip him and they have more players that he would be able to play with.
He was great for Sacramento. That's why it was such a big deal when the Lakers got him, because people thought he was going to get more money and they thought he was going to be like a really good piece because he was really good for Sacramento, but he hasn't been able to translate that for the Lakers. Well, I don't know if it's just the system we're running. I don't know if it's just the team.
I think AD has a lot to do with it because he didn't have to play in that sort of type system over there. Yeah. So we're like here he has to I just think he had to change too much of his play style. But my thing is you go over there I don't know. Hey, I'm all for the swap. Let's trade him. But
also just be
if you're Milwaukee, what are you gonna do with him? That's the only thing.
Yeah, it could also just be that certain players just you got the LA spotlight on you, We've seen a lot of players do that. You go to Milwaukee, it's a small market. Yeah, they have aspirations of winning a title, but the pressure isn't as high as it is in LA, right? So like you might be able to like. So I just think that would be a real mutually.
It's not like a historical like crazy franchise have won like all these rings and yeah.
I think it would be. I think it would just be a solid, just 1-for-1 swap. Everyone's happy. Lakers get a vet big man that can come in, play solid minutes for him here and there. I mean, he's a guy. He's not, OKC Serge Ibaka. He's not Ibaka anymore. He's still.
I loved OKC Serge Ibaka though.
Yeah, that was a monster. Like I would love that, but he's still a savvy vet that can stretch the floor. Be a help defender. Has good size. Has toughness. He's a tough guy. So. I think you could use him. I think he's a guy that gives you some insurance. Like he could play next to AD, play next to Winian, play next to Thomas Bryant, all of those things. And
cookie cutter, where we can just fit in that position.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fundamentals,
plug and play.
Nothing flashy.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him doing anything goofy. Like he's gonna come in. He's won a championship. He's been to the finals several times. He's a guy that. Where is it?
No, and he's going to rebound for us, which we need. Yeah. We like to add more rebounders to our team as much as we need anything else is crucial.
Yeah, it is. It's something that I think could be a nice solid round move for both parties. I think it's just like I said, even swap. Here you go. You get Ibaka. We'll take Damien Jones. Clean. But another little thing, or here, let's get caught up with the comments, and then we'll move on to one of the last topics, and then we'll get on out of here. Let people enjoy the game, and then I think we're gonna get a surprise trade, something we ain't see coming. That's always a possibility. I've even said before that like I wouldn't be shocked if the trade is a trade that like we haven't even heard of yet, like because we've heard kind of the same handful of teams, right? Like. Pacers, Jazz, Charlotte. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if, like, just randomly out of left field, the Lakers pull off some, like, random trade with a random team, and everyone's like, what? Like that? Like, as long as it's a good package.
And I want to be like the Warriors or something like that.
Crazy. Like, I hope it's not something, like crazy. But, like, I could see, like Dallas maybe just randomly comes out of like if they want to get rid of Christian Wood, like which they seem to do, and they need ball help, like maybe Dallas hits him up and goes, "We want Russ to test him out this year, and then if we like him, we'll re-sign it." Like I'm not saying that they will, but like I could just see some random team that like everyone's like, "Whoa, didn't see that," like never saw that coming. I could see that being the case. Some of these like middle of the pack teams. Right, like like most of the conversations are with like the tanking teams, like the Spurs, the Pistons, the Hornets, stuff like that. But like, what about like, what if like Minnesota is like, we'll give you D'Angelo Russell